For an extended period, murmurs have accompanied Jay-Z about a hidden child, and now it appears like the facts may ultimately be reaching him. What began as silent speculations has developed into a complete court conflict, and Beyoncé, well, she's supposedly doing all she can to prevent matters from escalating uncontrollably.
Wait, was that ever pursued?
Yes, I actually talked to her a couple times. Lakeisha, I actually was talking to her a couple years ago. Everything was seeming great, we was communicating. And then the communication just stopped, I don't know what happened.
Let's begin from the start. A man named Rymir Satterthwaite has asserted for over 10 years that Jay-Z is his natural parent. His account isn't fresh, but what is fresh is how extensive matters have progressed. A tribunal has ultimately intervened and directed Jay-Z to provide a DNA example after periods of evading it. For Rymir, who's now mature, this could be the instance he ultimately obtains the resolution he's been pursuing most of his existence.
I think it's the girl like Tasha K. She got a Jay-Z son on there.
Oh, his alleged son?
No. If you talk to him personally, that's his son.
You think that's his son?
Yeah. You know what I think his son? First of all, Jay-Z offered him money. At first he offered him bread, and everything, but his aunt, this is like his caretaker didn't approve of it. She said no. Jay-Z got a lien on her house, all type of shit that was going on. Yeah, the lady put her paperwork and everything with his name on it and all that. But young boy's so thorough though. He just want a dad. He not trying to get no money. He not trying to do none of that. That's why. So I told him when he called me 2 years ago, I said, listen, I don't want to be the one to tell your story because they're gonna think I'm trying to catch rep off of it. So let me let you tell your story somewhere else first. Then I can talk about it. But he called me 2 years ago, telling me I said, oh, young boy. He's like, I just want a dad. I don't want no money. I'm already 18. I think he was like 20 something at the time. But something happened to him, and I was like, yo, that sounds kind of weird. He said he was coming out from work, going to work, and it was a gun in his car. When he opened the door, he seen the gun. He said he went to go call his man, yo, did you leave a gun in my car? His man's like, no. He said, why you on the phone talking to his man? The cops pull up and lock him up. He said, he's telling the cops, no, that's not my gun. So he went in the building he was in, and they seen that somebody pulled up and put the guns in his car.
Oh.
And pulled off. I said, bro, I don't know nobody in the hood that got guns to just waste like that to do that. I don't know what. He's like, yeah, so Jay-Z had a gag order against him, trying to get a gag order and trying to. And my thing is, if it's not my son, I'll just take a test, get over with.
Yeah.
The fact that you did dodge and whatever, to me, I don't.
According to informants near the circumstance, Beyoncé may have had a larger participation in this than individuals recognize. One individual who supposedly knew someone in Beyoncé's group indicated she once dismissed the circumstance. Naturally, this is rumor, but what's not in doubt is how strictly this confidential matter has been maintained. Privately, sources assert Beyoncé has been urging strongly to maintain the circumstance silent, not because she's uncertain of Jay-Z's history, but because confirming this offspring would destroy the perception they've established together. Consider it. Beyoncé and Jay-Z are recognized as the ultimate influential pair. Their label, their relatives, their heritage, everything relies on maintaining that ideal perception intact. But now that perception might be in significant difficulty, and it appears they've attempted to maintain it silent for an extended period.
Don't nobody want to talk about the other kids that everybody denies don't exist and whatever. To be a billionaire that can't get a loan is one thing. But to be a broke billionaire and a deadbeat dad, that's something different.
Yeah. Even Solange's son, the Daniel kid, he says he doesn't have a great relationship with Beyonce, Jay-Z. What do you feel someone coming out saying, hey, Jay-Z's my father? What does that person want from a hoe if he's saying he does not care?
To prove that his mother wasn't a liar, because that's what they said his entire life while she was alive. Denying him makes her a liar. That woman was on the phone with the judge who was harassing her, telling her, demanding that she stop filing for paternity when she gave way and died. His mama died on the phone. Trying to get proper acknowledgement to him. If your mama died like that, would you just sit around and let people keep calling her a liar? That's how your mama died, with a judge yelling at her. And turns out now, all these judges were bought off and paid off, and they're going to be looking at sanctions and probably charges because what they did was illegal.
What I've heard about them as a couple is that they've been living separate lives for a very long time. So they together, but they living separate. And part of the reason why they're already living separate lives, and we may actually see one of the biggest divorces in Hollywood, is because Jay-Z is up next to be exposed. And it's only so much of these stories that Jay-Z can, he can pay off or he can block. He won't be able to stop this. And she knows it, and he knows it too. As far as who's gonna be the breakout victim / story, I don't know.
The account becomes more intricate when you examine the schedule. Rymir's mother, Wanda, allegedly encountered Jay-Z in the early 90s, long before Beyoncé entered the picture. At the time, Wanda was a teenager, while Jay-Z was in his early 20s. They supposedly had a brief interaction, and Wanda claims she became pregnant afterward. Jay-Z was focused on launching his entertainment career, and Wanda didn't have his contact details, making it hard to reach him. Things escalated when Wanda gave birth while in a relationship with another man named Robert, who signed the delivery record. Reports suggest Robert knew the child wasn't his, but signed it anyway, perhaps to help Wanda gain public support. Wanda was still recovering from childbirth and supposedly unaware of his signing. Rymir discovered the truth when he was about 8 years old, when his mother told him that Jay-Z was his biological father. Before leaving, Wanda signed a verified statement confirming Jay-Z as the father, which became central to a lengthy court battle.
Jay-Z's alleged son, and I have to say alleged because I have to say alleged, but just so you guys know, this part is not alleged. Jay-Z and his team, they have been ducking and dodging, taking the DNA test. They've been trying to block all of the work that Rymir's godmother, Lily Cooley, is doing in the court because, well, if this truth comes out, and I mean like come out on all platforms, basically we're going to know that Jay-Z was messing around with Rymir's mother when she was a teenager and he was a grown-ass man. Rymir's biological mother is now deceased. May she rest in peace. But nonetheless, she gave birth to Rymir in high school. Jay-Z was a grown man. You put 2 and 2 together, okay?
With assistance from his legal protector, Lily Colley, Rymir submitted a civil legal action in 2014 against Jay-Z. They asserted they had been attempting for periods to get Jay-Z to undergo a DNA examination, but each time they encounter obstacles, assertions of deception, court barriers, and attempts to get the matter rejected. And this is where Beyoncé supposedly re-participates in the account. Some informants indicate Beyoncé encouraged Jay-Z to maintain the matter silent, particularly after discovering more about the initial schedule. From her perspective, this wasn't merely a personal issue. It had the potential to generate unwanted focus. With so many visible figures facing court and perception issues in the sector, the Carters may have viewed the circumstance as a danger to their perception. Jaguar Wright has also contributed that Beyoncé has been doing situation control for a peer issue, and that she's pretending Blue Ivy is her offspring.
That's the last time I heard from her. She wanted to do a test with me, and they got sent to the house when I was in Jersey. I don't want to give the address we was at, but they got sent to the house. My godmother, she told me this is what I needed to do. I pulled it out. I had to spit in it, fill it up to a certain line, shake it. It came with 2 different tubes and all that. I put it in a box and shipped it back off, and never heard anything else.
And I've never seen a photo of her. Do you guys have resemblances?
I wouldn't. I mean, I would think so. I did see a couple photos. I would say I look like her in some ways, or she looks like me. But I can't fully say that. I don't know. So
even though Rymir has indicated repeatedly that he doesn't want Jay-Z's funds or recognition, he just wants responses. Many individuals have doubted his drives. He operates 2 positions, maintains himself, and insists this was never about visibility. My entire matter was just to observe who my parent was, he indicated in one discussion. Now, with the tribunal directing a DNA examination, that response may ultimately arrive. What's intriguing now, though, is Rymir is advancing currently and has already attempted a DNA examination with a female alleged to be be Jay-Z's initial offspring. If the examination verifies Rymir's assertion, the effect could be enormous. It would mean Jay-Z had a child before the arrival of his publicly recognized offspring, and it might indicate that Beyoncé has been aware more than she admitted, choosing to maintain it confidential to safeguard their family's perception. The most unexpected part: some informants asserted Jay-Z was once receptive to having a connection with Rymir, but when Beyoncé supposedly discovered the complete account, including Wanda's young age at the time of the initial interaction, she reportedly wanted the circumstance maintained out of focus. That would be aligned with how Beyoncé operates. As the tribunal deadline for the DNA examination approaches, tough questions are being raised. Why wasn't this handled earlier? Why all the court conflicts and silence? The bigger question is, how much did Beyoncé really know? Sources suggest she may have been more involved than most realize. With the court finally stepping in, keeping those secrets hidden could be tougher than ever. Reports indicate that Rymir and Lily claim Jay-Z and Beyoncé used their influence to block the DNA test. Even more shocking, they filed complaints against their own attorneys, alleging those lawyers worked against them rather than helping. What's unfortunate now, though, is that Rymir has seemingly abandoned his legal action inexplicably, and there are a number of surprising ideas as to why this could be the circumstance. Section 12. But this is on a critical point, since Rymir will still likely be pursuing his supposed parent to tribunal. And if the examination proves what Rymir's been indicating all along, this won't just be about one man's search for recognition. It could disrupt the perception of one of entertainment's most influential families.